Alright, so this is going to be a bit of a crash course in KI1, and I'm not going to cover all the characters right now. Later on I'll do individual character tutorials just like I did in KI2, but for right now we're just going to talk about button layout, the combo system in general, and things like that. So I'm going to start with my namesake Glacius, not just for that reason, but also because he definitely has complexities to him, but as far as the combos, he's pretty basic. So I think he'll be a good example. So first thing I'll mention is KI is a 6-button fighting game. It was originally an arcade in '94, and it had the same layout as Street Fighter. So you have 3 punch buttons on top and 3 kicks on the bottom. So, and you've got lights on the left, medium in the middle, and fierce on the right. So here's all the buttons. You'll have starting at the top left. You got quick punch, medium punch, fierce punch, quick kick, medium kick, and fierce kick. Now in KI, some moves, some of your normals that I was just showing have like 2 animations. So typically it's like quick punch or medium punch usually. Like Glacius, for instance, this is medium punch, but if I press medium punch a second time, you get a second punch, kind of like you do with Mortal Kombat, the originals, with low punch. And Glacius also has a unique property on his quick punch. You'll see the range of that punch, but as you press it more, it extends further. Also, some moves, you're not going to really see that with Glacius, but some characters, like on their quick kick, instead of them returning all the way, like Juggle and Orchid, they'll kind of just hold their leg up in the air, kick multiple times. So that's kind of a cool thing in KI. But so of course you can do all these moves when you're crouched, right? Down in fierce is going to be your sweep if your character has one. TJ Combo and Saberwolf, they don't sweep on down fierce kick. It's just a heavy crouching kick. And of course you can do all these moves in the air as well. One thing that's interesting is that the active frames for the quick attack is the entire duration. So what I mean is if I were to come off the ground and press fierce kick, by the time I make it over here, it's the kick is over, so you have to wait until you get close. With the quick attacks, you can press them as soon as you come off the ground, and they're active the entire time. I'm not sure exactly why that's the case. It doesn't do a lot of damage, as you can see, but it definitely can interrupt some things, so just be aware of that. Now, one of the things that's different from Street Fighter 2 and KI2 is that there are no throws in the original Killer Instinct. So what do you do about turtling, as they used to call it? I don't know what it's called now, but we used to call it turtling if you were doing a crouching block all the time. Because that's the thing in KI is you hold back to block, just like Street Fighter. So back to block, down back to do a crouching block. So the only things you can really do in KI are either jump in attacks, which sometimes work on the way up, sometimes not. So you saw there, Glacius blocked that, and that time he got hit. It's a little inconsistent as far as that goes, but you can catch jump attacks on the way up, which is really cool. So what do you do about crouching block attacks? Well, there's a universal move in KI. It's an overhead. It's back and fierce punch. So this will hit a crouching blocked character. The problem with it, I'll say, is that it's context sensitive. For those who remember Conker's Bad Fur Day, it's sensitive to context. But it means that if I press back and fierce punch, which is actually a separate normal, this is fierce punch, back and fierce punch with Glacius is a different move. That's the case with some characters. Pressing back and a button will do something different. But if the opponent's standing, back and fierce punch is just going to do whatever. And then when they duck, then it does the overhead. So If you predict that somebody's gonna duck, so I'm gonna press back and fierce punch, and I'm gonna duck right after it. Okay, you saw he still did the gut punch. So you can't sort of predict a duck. They have to have actually already started to duck in order for it to work. So that's kind of annoying. Or if you wanted to do, for instance, this punch, but they ducked at that particular time, then you're gonna get that. So that's one thing that they changed in KI2 that I preferred. So in KI2, a overhead comes out regardless, but at least it's universal, so everybody's back fierce punch. Fortunately, since this is the only overhead, right, and so you could just be watching for it, and whenever you saw it, just stand up. They gave everybody a fake version of that, which is back in medium punch, so that you can do a fake version. The opponent stands up, and then you can sweep them, or you do a fake one. They stand up, and you do a low attack, and then go into combos. Which I'll talk about combos in a minute. I just want to cover basics right now. So, you also in KI1, the overhead is actually an opener, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. But it just means that it can go into a combo. You could also do an overhead into an opener. So just know that although you only have really one move other than jump ins, it is a useful move. So what do I want to talk about next? I guess I'll just get into special moves. So it's pretty much moves you're going to see in every kind of fighting game. So mostly Street Fighter, a little bit of Mortal Kombat, and a unique move to KI. At least I can't think of any other games that have it. Anyway, you've got your traditional stuff. You got your quarter circle forward. So Glacius has one of those. So that's a quarter circle forward punch. And I'll cover all these moves whenever I actually do the character tutorials. But so you've got quarter circle forward. You've got dragon punch motion. Glacius doesn't have one of those, but it's forward, down, and then between down and forward. So you'll have that move with Jago and Folgore, Cinder. I think that's it. Then you've got a lot of charge back and press forward, just like your Sonic Booms in Street Fighter. That's a really common move in Killer Instinct. Also charging forward and pressing back in a button. You've got some forward moves, down, kind of like you would have in Mortal Kombat. You also do have half circle, so you can rotate from the front all the way down into the back. And then you've got a move that's kind of different in KI. It's still a quarter circle, but you start between down and forward, down, and then down back. So yeah, you start in a forward diagonal and in the down back diagonal, and that's a common move. Wind kicks and things like that. A lot of characters have that move. So that's generally the motions you're going to use. Now, also like Street Fighter, your different strengths do different things or change the move in some way. So, for instance, I call everything a fireball, right? The quick punch version, you'll see it pretty much hits them on the fourth bounce. The medium punch version, it's a little bit quicker, and then the fierce punch is the fastest one. So that's a common thing with the fireballs. It changes the speed. Now with his melt that you saw, it's called liquidize sometimes, but the quick kick does a teleport. The medium kick does an uppercut, and you'll notice that the opponent stayed grounded. It's because this is actually an opener, which I'm going to get into. And then the fierce kick version knocks him up in the air for a hard knockdown. So that's one of the ways that moves differ based on what strength it is. And then you have his ice pick, which is rotate to down back quick punch, and that's the only one. So medium punch and fierce punch don't do anything. Another thing you can do is, so I've been doing like say quarter circle forward and pressing a button. Well, you can also hold a button and then rotate forward and let go. So I think more recently this is called negative edge, where you hold a button, do the motion and let go. But that's a thing in KI that will, there's certain things I'm going to show you here in a minute where doing it that way actually changes the properties of the move. So alright, so let's get into the thing that makes KI KI, and that's the combos. So I'm going to show a typical combo in KI, which will look a bit complicated if you don't know how it's done. So that's kind of your, I don't know, that's pretty much what the combos are going to look like when you extend them. This is a basic combo right here. I'll just show you. So, okay, sort of your 7 to 9, 10 hits. That's going to be your basics. So let me break this down and just kind of pick it apart of what's happening. So your combos in general are 3 parts. You've got what's called an opener, which starts the combo. You've got what's called an auto, which is basically the middle portion. And then you've got what's called an ender, which does just that. It ends the combo. So, and each one of those pieces is a single button press. So combo's 3 parts. I'm going to press 3 different buttons. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That was opener, auto, ender. So each character has certain moves that will allow you to start a combo. With Glacius, they happen to be his shoulder attack and his medium uppercut. And actually all 3 strengths of his shoulder are openers. So you got the fierce, medium, and quick. Now, after you've done an opener, of the 6 buttons, some of them will do what's called an auto, the thing you saw where you press a button once and it automatically does 2 to 3 hits. So I'm gonna press let's just come in with medium punch, and then I'm gonna run through all 6 buttons and you'll see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna come in with the medium and press quick punch. Okay, that's not an auto. You see I did just a single hit. I'm gonna come in and press medium punch. You see I did 3 hits right after, so that's an auto. I'm gonna come in with fierce punch. Say I did 2 hits, that's an auto. And typically each opener has 2 autos. So in theory, none of the kicks should do anything. Now every once in a while in KI, you have your rules and then you have your exceptions. So the rule is kind of, or the general rule is that there's 2 different autos, but sometimes there's only 1 and sometimes there's 3. So let's just try the others. Here's quick kick, here's medium kick, and then we'll do fierce kick. And I'll just mention right here that what I'm showing is basically the way the combos are meant to be done. So I'm not going to go through with the glitchy stuff, and I'm not going to really talk about the manuals and things that you can squeeze into the game, because although fierce kick isn't an auto, it's, I think, one of the best moves you can do in a combo. So, but that's an example of where the medium punch version has 2 autos, and there they are. Now in KI2, the way this whole system worked was if you did an opener, which I keep doing the fireball instead. If you did an opener, whatever strength you use, you just went to the left. So if I came in with a fierce shoulder, I would just press either medium punch or medium kick. And if I came in with medium, I'd move to the left and press quick punch or quick kick. And if I use quicks, I would use either fierce kick or fierce punch. So in KI2, it's really simple. Once you know that, like, you can do combos with anybody. In KI1, you just have to know what the autos are. So you either have to do trial and error, or you just have to play it a bunch and remember it. For me, I just find that you just remember it after a while. So, like, for instance, his medium uppercut, it's quick kick and fierce kick. Okay, none of the other buttons will do anything. That was medium kick, that was quick punch. That was medium punch. Okay, so you just have to get to know where you know what the autos are. And then after that, so I've shown you, you have an opener, and then there's usually two of the 6 buttons will do an auto. Once you've done that, there's going to be 4 moves, 4 special moves, and it's button specific that you can do that's called an ender, and it'll be 3 to 4 hits. Now, TJ Combo has a 5th one, and Jago has a 5th one that's 2 hits, which is really weird because every other ender is 3 or 4 hits. But so yeah, everybody has these, so you can try different special moves, you know, on different strengths, and you'll find the 4 enders if you don't know what they are. So with Glacius, they happen to be his ice pick, which is rotated down back quick punch, and then quarter circle forward with medium kick, fierce kick, and fierce punch. Those are his 4 different openers. So I'm gonna do the same beginning part, okay, and then I'm gonna do the 4 different enders just to show you. So there's the ice pick, so all 4 of those hits was the ender. So every one of these I'm pressing 3 buttons, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was quarter circle forward fierce kick, 1, 2, 3. That was the quarter circle forward fierce punch, and then 1, 2, and 3. That was quarter circle forward medium kick. So that's your basic combo, 3 parts. Okay, you could think of it like it's a sentence, right? You've got your you got a subject, a verb, and then your enders would be like different punctuations, you know, exclamation points and question marks or whatever. Or you could think of it like you're building a sandwich. You got a slice of bread to start, then some filling, and then another slice to finish it off. There you go. All right, so just like those 2 things, talking about sentences and sandwiches, well, we can make the combos bigger. We can extend them. So in KI, you have what's called a linker, and everybody has at least one. That's the common amount. Some characters have 2, but there's a certain move you can do that basically works like the word "and" in a sentence, so that you're just extending it. So with Glacius, it's charge forward, back medium punch. So I'm going to do like you've been seeing, an opener and an auto. And then instead of ending it, I'm going to do this linker. Okay, you saw those 2 hits where you just did like a shoulder and into an ice pick. That's the linker. So you can think of it like the word "and." So you got like, right, a subject, a verb, and then and then after that we'll throw some more verbs in there, and then we'll finish the sentence. Okay. So your linker, kind of like how the opener is, you follow it with another auto. Okay, so we got opener, auto, linker, auto, and then an ender. So we got opener, auto, right, linker, auto, and ender. So it's like you got subject, verb, conjunction, verb, and then your punctuation. Or like we were talking about sandwich, imagine like a club sandwich that's got 3 slices of bread in it. So you got slice of bread, some stuff, slice of bread, some more stuff, and then the final slice. Okay, that's pretty much the combo that everybody's going to be able to do. And TJ Combo and Orchid, they can do more linkers without the combo dropping, because what happens if you keep trying to make your combos go longer and longer and longer, they'll eventually fall over, or you just can't get the linkers to come out. Like that, for instance, you try to do the linker twice with Glacius and it doesn't do anything. But alright, so I'm jumping in here after the fact. I made a little montage right after this showing this 5-part combo with all of the characters, so you can get an idea of the rhythm for it and start to see the pattern. So yeah, just check this out. All right, so after that, once you've done a launch, everybody's got a move that's a juggle. So only certain moves are going to hit when a character's in the air like that, and yeah, that's all you got. With Glacius, it happens to be quarter circle forward, fierce kick. Most characters, it's like a projectile, but that's not everybody. Mostly, if it's a projectile, it's the quick punch or quick kick. It's not everybody, but in general, that's sort of what that is. So, and by default, it's a single hit. So you can see right there, boom, single hit. Now, once you get a combo breaker, which I'm about to cover, once you get a combo breaker, it's going to enhance that, and it's going to make it a 3 hit. So, yeah, let's just get into the combo breaker. So, if you know what somebody's doing, you know what button they're pressing, then you can typically break the combo. Now, unfortunately, there are some combos that are unbreakable in KI. I sort of just chalked that up to the fact that these games were made pretty quickly, and they didn't have the luxury of making, infinite revisions like we do now with fighting games. So they made a couple of revisions, and then you're on to the next game, and that's it. So that's just how it is. So, but in general, the rule, and there's always exceptions, but the rule in KI is whatever strength somebody's using at the time, you go to the left. So, for instance, if Glacius here is doing this auto, it's a medium. You have to get to where you recognize these things, or you could guess, but if you know that that's a medium, then you do a combo breaker with quick. Now, Glacius's combo breaker happens to be back forward punch. And back forward is a very common combo breaker in KI1. You've also got dragon punch motion with the 3 characters that have dragon punch motions that I showed before. So Jago, Fulgor, and Cinder. You've got a couple other combo breakers like Chief Thunder's half circle back punch, Spinal's forward punch, but back forward that's most of it. But anyway, so yeah, KI is based on the strength. So since there are 3 strengths, that means it's a 1 in 3 chance of doing a combo breaker, which is different from KI2, which made it 50-50. So it's a little harder to just guess in KI1, but the trade-off is that some of the autos last longer. So in KI2, it's all like 2 hits. In KI1, you've got some 2 hits, but you've also got some 3 hits. So either way, it's a 1 in 3 shot. So you have to get to where you sort of recognize these autos or just guess right. So yeah, if Glacius is coming in with a quick, that was a quick kick auto. I broke it with fierce, since that's to the left, right? There's no buttons to the left of quick, but you loop back around. And if he's doing fierce, then, well, I was dead there. If your health is drained, you can't combo break, obviously. So he's doing fierce, so I broke with a medium. Now, so you notice I'm doing combos with Glacius by doing jump-ins. So I'm going to put this on screen, but so jump-in attacks are openers, and the autos for them are universal. So unlike the openers where it's like, oh, everybody's is different, you just have to know what they are, this is the one case where it's universal and there's only one auto. So as you can see, the way the buttons are linked up together kind of looks like a Roman numeral 9. So you've got your quicks linked together. So quick punch, then you press quick kick. If you jump in with quick kick, you press quick punch. If you jump in with fierce punch, you press medium kick. If you jump in with medium kick, well, I'll just do it on this side. Medium kick, you press fierce punch. Medium punch links with fierce kick, and fierce kick links with medium punch. Now, we'll talk about idle later, but the idle code uses that pattern that you just saw there. You'll have to pick Cinder, you hold right on the versus screen, but it's that pattern. You start with your punches, you go quick punch, and then quick kick, and then you do fierce punch, medium kick, medium punch, fierce kick. So anyway, we'll talk about that later, but it's that pattern. If you ever forget the code, remember the pattern, or if you forgot the pattern, remember the code, whichever way, but that's it right there. So you've done a combo breaker. That obviously a good thing, gets you out of your combos, but it also gives you an extra enhancement. So right now, if you look at the player 2 Glacius, his health bar, at the end of the bar you'll see a white line, and it's just a static line, and on player 1 side that line is flashing. So that's how you know that you've done a combo breaker. And when you've done a combo breaker, basically you get like 3 enhancements. So let's run through them real quick. The first thing that it does is just a visual thing. It changes if you do your enders by letting go of a button, it'll change what it looks like. So here's a normal ender, right? You've been seeing it. Now instead of rotating forward and pressing fierce kick, if I'm holding fierce kick and let go of the button instead, right, you see this ghosted shadow form. So that's what you can do with all of your enders. And if you make it to the you're doing your ultra combo and you still have that thing flashing, the whole ultra will be in that form as well. Now this doesn't drain your power up at all, so you can just do this as many times as you want. But there are 2 other things that this combo breaker does. The first is that it enhances your juggle. So you saw the juggle earlier where it was a single hit, right? Just a single uppercut. Well, now it's going to be 3 hits. And I'll say now with Glacius, it changes the timing. It comes out faster, so you have to put a little bit of a delay. So it can be a little tricky. But okay, you see I did 3 hits. So this is why, if you've ever seen things telling you how to get the highest ultras, you're gonna have to have done a combo breaker. If you're not doing like broken ultra glitchy stuff, you'll have to have done a combo breaker. So that's one of the enhancements you get. And then one of the other things you get are certain moves will be enhanced. So here's one of them with Glacius. So right now his fastest projectile is quarter circle forward fierce punch. See that? Well, if I've got the combo breaker, I can hold quick punch, rotate forward and let go, and I want you to take note of how fast this is. And also it's a hard knockdown. Hold on, well, if I can do it. There you go. Okay. Now you'll notice it's not flashing anymore. That's because I did 1 enhanced juggle and 2 enhanced moves. So you get 3 power-ups. Now they don't stack. So if I did 2 combo breakers back to back, I still only have 3. Okay. Yeah, that's how that works. What else do I want to talk about? Let me show you something. I can show this with multiple characters, but let's actually keep it PvP. I want to show a couple of things. Alright, so in most fighting games that have projectiles, you can only have one on screen at a time. But in Killer Instinct, as you can see, I'm able to get a second fireball out before the first one's destroyed. And you can actually, I'll just show you this, you can just throw as many as you want. And if you throw ones at different speeds, you'll see that they'll actually collide with each other. You see this? So that's pretty cool. There's also moves in KI that will go through fireballs. The wind kick, for instance. Dragon punch, stuff like that. So there's a lot of those kind of moves. But there's also moves that also counter the moves that are immune to fireballs. So Jago, for instance, has this. If you hold quick punch, rotate forward and let go, you see it's yellow. That actually prevents you from going through the fireball. So there's a lot of cool stuff like that that I want to show in the character tutorials. Also, just take note that in KI1 you can be on opposite ends of any stage that scales, which is something that they changed in KI2. So KI2, they kind of restrict you even on like a bridge stage. Now, one last thing and then we'll be done. There'll still be more to talk about after this video and the character tutorials, but this is one thing I just wanted to point out, is that player 1 and player 2 in some instances are different. I noticed it kind of early on when this game came out initially. There were some combos I was trying to do that on player one side I noticed they dropped a little early. And at first it seemed like a little bit of a disadvantage, but it kind of turns out that it's actually an advantage because you can do some combo resets where it negates damage scaling. And if you're trying to get bigger combos, sometimes you can do things. Anyway, here's one that I found with a friend of mine playing online. We were playing TJ versus TJ, and he was doing this combo, real simple startup, just a medium roll with a quick kick auto. And then he would follow it up with one of 3 enders, right? And all 3 of them launch. So that was a quick punch, launch. This is an ender with medium punch that also launches. And here's one with fierce kick that also launches. So he's got 3 different launch enders, and each one of them is a different strength. So you can break enders, but it's a lot harder. And also, right, he's got 3 different ones that all kind of result in something similar. So the place you want to try to break the combo in that instance would be the auto, but every time I would try to do it, and I'm going to try to demo this. So he's doing quick kick, and I know that. So I would do back forward fierce kick, but you see it didn't do anything. Right? There's a second attempt. So I think, oh, well, maybe it's an exception to the rule, right? Because like Spinal, right? Sometimes he can break medium with medium. I think maybe it's an exception to the rule. No, that was medium kick. And I'll show you quick kick real quick, which we already know what it's going to do. Absolutely nothing. Okay, that was a quick kick. So I'm thinking, oh, it's an unbreakable combo. And so I told him, I was like, all right, yeah, I think we found an unbreakable. And so, right, I tried it on him, and he breaks it right away. And that's what I was like, oh man, what is this? Like, just, is this it's not an unbreakable. Is it just easier for you? And we tried it, and I never break it. So I said, I know player 1 and player 2 are different sometimes, so let's swap sides. I'll host the game as player 1, and you try to break it. And when you know it, I could break it every time, but he couldn't. So there's an instance that's worse than an unbreakable combo, is a combo that's only breakable by 1 player. Now, I didn't point this out to suggest that, player 1's always going to win now, or that there's no point in playing the game, nothing like that. But I'm just letting you know that if you know what auto somebody's doing and it's not breaking, and you went ahead and tried the exceptions to the rules, but the opponent is breaking the same combo that they're doing to you, it might be the case. So I don't know every example where this is the case, but just be aware of that sometimes player 1 and player 2 are a little different. So I guess with that, I'm probably going to leave it there, and we'll start doing character tutorials. And yeah, hopefully this has been helpful. And yeah, hit me up with any questions you've got. I'll try to help out. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.